Is it specific to, is there like a standard? Because I remember like when I first joined, the office said like, oh, to be competitive, you need to have at least a 60 on your AFQT. I think it's changed a little bit now how they do the ASVAB scores, but is there a minimum that people need in order to join the Coast Guard, or is that office specific?
Need a 36. I need a 36. I can put you into the Coast Guard if you have a 36. That's it. Now, if you get a 36, right around that sweet spot of the ASVAB, you may not qualify for any ratings, and then you would have to. I've had this with a number of applicants. Go get in the Coast Guard, bring your score up, and then make that decision later. 36, and which is a far cry. I know when I came into recruiting, that's what we were telling people. I don't think that was ever written into commandant policy, but that was the standard, and they were using that as a selective recruiting tool because the mission was a lot lower. We needed less people. That's how they qualified quantity. I think since I've been in recruiting, we've sort of shifted that mindset. Your AFQT score, your ASVAB doesn't determine quality. I would rather have somebody that's willing to work hard than somebody that's book smart and can pass a test, a multiple choice, high school level math and English test. I would rather have somebody that is nice, willing to work hard, and be a positive force for good. Take it any day over somebody that could get a 99 and an ASVAB.
Are recruiters allowed to, just based off of if they like someone or not, qualify them to join the Coast Guard, or does the Coast Guard have to recruit anybody kind of regardless, for whatever the reason? What would be the reason that you would not recruit somebody?
Good question. A reason that I would not recruit somebody would be, and I have to justify it. It's not just August Klotz or any recruiter making it up as they go. If you're late for consecutive appointments, and I just don't think you're a good fit for the Coast Guard, and I can justify why that is. Every time you show up, you show up with an expectation, and you're late every time, and I don't think you're going to make a good recruiter, a good non-rate, and I can justify the case why. I don't want to send you to the company commanders for them just to send you home, and I don't want to waste the Coast Guard's money getting you a ticket to boot camp and then getting you a ticket home and all of that, where there's somebody else that is going to wear the uniform with pride. So we need to be able to justify any type of disqualification for whole person concept. We're judging the whole person. We're looking at seconds and first classes that have some good experience in the Coast Guard, and they know the core values, and they know what we're looking for in the Coast Guard. So you can't just make it up. But if somebody's displaying unprofessionalism or whatever the case might be, as long as I can justify it, we're using the whole person concept. And then it's not just us saying so. We gotta throw it up the chain of command too. This is my experience. This is my experience with the applicant, and this is why I don't feel the applicant is a good fit for the Coast Guard, even though that they meet eligibility standards. I don't think they're a good fit for the Coast Guard because of this reason. We can do that, but we just have to be able to justify it. Can you articulate?
And there are times where there's probably influx where we don't need as many people in the Coast Guard. And going back to like when I first joined, where that was the case, where it was really long wait times, and they said, you have to have a certain minimum in order to really compete. Are there chances where that could happen again, where there are ASVAB requirements or there are different types of requirements?
Yeah, it all depends on, and that's why even if you knew a recruiter that was a recruiter 5 years ago, they may not know the current recruiting environment and what the recruiting mission currently is. They may have a good idea and have the experience to back it up, but that's constantly changing. So yeah, those are all tools as part of the process. Some of them are used more than others. And it depends on who's in the recruiter's chair, who's in the recruiter in charge chair.
Right.
Partially.
different
Yeah.
offices might have different missions that they have to meet? Like, are you if a certain office is maybe filled up, would they not allow people to be able to join right away, or they'd have to wait longer?
No, those are the best recruiters that are out there. The ones that well surpass their mission and they say, I'm not going to stop recruiting until somebody tells me to stop. And guess what? Nobody's ever going to tell you to stop recruiting. I said this when I got into recruiting. I was hearing all these rumors and about there being like when I first came into recruiting in 2012, there was this persistent rumor that was going around that it was a 5-year wait, and people would ask me that, especially once they found out that I was a recruiter. They would ask me that all the time. Is it still a 5-year wait? I just had this happen within the last 6 months here in Cape May, Coast Guard's hometown. I was at a Wawa, and I've always got my business cards on me. So I saw somebody, working hard, and just asked them, "Oh, have you ever thought about it?" And he says to me, "Oh yeah, I did, but is it still a 5-year wait?" He said, "No." I said, "Say Semper Hires, always hiring." So the good recruiters that are out there, no, they're not going to see those limitations. They're going to make up for the slack for those recruiters that may be out there doing the processing. The good recruiters that are out there, they're never going to quit.